This is Train to Perform, the undisputed alpha podcast in training, fitness, and sports performance. Here, you'll develop your skills with the cold, hard facts in fitness, sports performance, recovery, and nutrition. Real, tried and true, evidence-based facts that have been proven to move you faster, move you stronger, and move you forward. Now, here's your host of Train to Perform, Julian Sisman.
What's going on, guys? Back at it again with the Train to Perform podcast. So today, talking about consistency. It's let's start with the definition. So to me, consistency is, in the Webster or dictionary.com, the most for this conversation or this topic, it's the steadfast adherence to the same principles, course, and form. So what does that mean? Well, it means that it's, day after day working on, the small things to help, depending on what you're working on, to, get you the results that you want. And this is a performance, exercise, nutrition podcast. So when we talk about consistency, we're talking about the daily behaviors, the habits, the mindset to help you reach the outcome or goal that you want. And why does consistency matter for exercise is that, it's like a compound interest. It's like, when I think of consistency, it is the daily inputs that you're putting in towards what you want. And so that could be anything. Are you going to are you in school and are you putting in the daily work to, get that A that you want? Are you an athlete and the daily habits of, a good, fairly consistent, good, relationship with food? Are you binge eating, or are you, aware of what you're eating? And when it comes down to exercise, a lot of people want to lose weight. A lot of people want to be healthy. A lot of people want to do stuff and they don't want to be consistent day in and day out, and always make excuses on why they can't get to where they want to be. And again, it's all about the inputs that you put in. Are you, figuring out time in your day to put 30 minutes or 45 minutes of exercise in? It doesn't have to always be, I'm going to go kill myself in the gym, or I'm going to go, go run for miles and sweat. And, that's my gauge of how my workout was or how my exercise was for that day. To me, exercise should be something that you consistently are doing, obviously, but it shouldn't be something where you're going out there and every single day you have to sweat buckets, and based on that you're like, hey, I got the greatest workout in. And sometimes, that is a good gauge, but sometimes, to be honest with you, it doesn't matter, because you can sweat so much and the workout is not, there's no good reason for it. So, sometimes when you weight train, you might not sweat at all. I'm not saying that that's a good thing or that's a bad thing. And I don't think that using sweat or how much you sweat or whatever is the gauge at which you say, okay, that was a great workout. Because it could have been just like a slow jog for 45 to an hour and you sweat a lot because it's warm out, and that's what it is. Granted, yes, it might be consistent. It might be, hey, I'm putting the work in, or hey, I'm doing it. Okay, great. I praise you for that. But, there's got to be a fine line. There's a fine line on, what a good workout is. Again, we're talking about consistency here. So consistency is obviously very important. Again, it's, putting in that time day in and day out. Are you, making sure that, your nutrition is consistent with where you want to go, every single day. Are you, is your sleep habits consistent? Are you going to bed at a certain time, waking up at a certain time, keeping that pretty consistent, not, going to bed at 9:00 one night and then, during the week, and then you're like, hey, I'm going to binge watch something tonight and go to bed at 10:30, 11. Okay. I'm telling you right now, it's very important that with sleep, for full recovery, no matter what you're doing, it could be just straight work, or it could be an athlete, or it could be somebody it doesn't matter. If you can keep that consistent, 9 to whatever in the morning, or 9:30 to 5, 6, 6:30 in the morning, getting a consistent, 7 to 9 hours of sleep a night. And those hours compound day after day after day, you're going to see the difference in your energy levels. Sleep helps with a lot of stuff in your brain for cleansing, cleaning out things. Actually, sleep helps a lot. If it's consistent, can help with fat loss. So there's a lot of things, and hormonally, there's a lot of things that it helps with. But as far as that goes, the daily habits have to be consistent, is what I'm trying to get at. It can't just be when you feel like it. Okay. The successful people out there that are, and I'm not equating this to, money. And what I mean by successful people, I'm talking about people that are, doing, like, serving people and helping people get to where they want to be. I can name hundreds of people, but I'm not going to go there. But I'm just saying the people that you see that you hear about, and, they're doing the little things that matter every single day consistently. It's not just, when you feel like it. So that's what the compound of consistency does. It's like when you put, a little bit of money in the bank account, either weekly, monthly, whatever your frequency is, those little compounding month to month, year to year, and you want to build wealth or whatever, doesn't matter. It's the same thing with your daily habits, your workouts. It can't just be, hey, I want to work out this week, and then you take off all next week, and then you don't work out the next week, and then you work out the next week, and then you say, hey, why am I not losing weight? Well, you haven't been in the gym for 2.5 weeks or a week and a half, and that's why. It's very important that the workouts try to be, 2 to 3 times a week, and that's nothing really, and you can make a lot of gains from that. There's a ton of research on that. Of, the frequency only needs to be like 3 times a week. It doesn't need to be. You can make almost the same gains in 3 days a week, as long as the volume, the sets, reps, whatever, is you can make the same gains with somebody that's working on a program that's working out 5 or 6 days a week. Okay. If you want the research, I'm going to put it in the show notes. Okay. So it's very important that, you get into the gym and you get on, you get on a routine that will help you. If you don't know what to do, ask. Okay. There's tons of trainers out there that are willing to help you. If they can't help you, continue to look, because there's a lot of people out there that want to help the individuals that do not understand how to, get the best of a gym membership or a fitness center or whatever. There's people out there that will help you as long as you research, or ask friends, or, I hate to say this, but use Google. It is what it is, but just make sure that when you search, you find somebody that is, going to help you based on what you want. Don't just find the nearest fitness trainer, to be honest with you. Find somebody that has experience working with, if it's an athlete, have somebody that has experience working with athletes on getting stronger, faster, more physical, growing your confidence. Or is it a gym where they're doing group training, it's a community feel, they're still working on strength training, everybody is local, having fun? Or is it, hey, I know what I'm doing, I just want a program, I want to go into my gym, work off this program, and that's it. It's possible. So I hate when the people say like, hey, I can't do it because, my last trainer or last experience was bad. Well, you're always thinking about the past. Yeah, that's what's going to happen. You just got to believe that, there's something out there, and there is. You can't sit there and say, hey, like, I had bad experience with fitness or had bad experience with nutrition or this or this or this. Just make excuses. Believe me, there's plenty of people out there that can help. Okay. And they'll get you back on a routine, get you consistent, help you with your nutrition, and build a better lifestyle. Because I'm telling you right now, you do not want to wait until something bad happens for you to say, hey, like, yo, I need to start something. Because, you don't know how much time or how much longer, and believe me, it's better to be proactive and preventative than reactive and say, oh, I have high blood pressure, I have, high blood sugar, I'm almost diabetic, and now I got to do something. Okay. Long story short, I have a liver disease. I've known this obviously since I was born. So, as a young kid, the lifestyle was not, it's not the same as everybody else, and, alcohol and drinking and all that kind of stuff. Yes, I will admit I was a little bit, even though I was fit, I could have fixed my diet. Okay. Got the news when I was around 18, 19 years old saying, hey, you need to lose weight. I'm like looking at myself. I'm like, what do you mean I need to lose weight? I'm talking to the doctor at this point. And I'm like, I feel great. I'm fit. Like I'm running like less than 6-minute miles. Right. But she said, hey, you need to lose weight or, your liver is going to get worse. So I should have been more preventative and, focused on that before I got the news that, something even worse can happen to me. Not that I already have a half functioning liver, but like it could get worse. And so I was proactive. Literally that day, the next day I said, okay, enough is enough. I'm changing my lifestyle. And since then, it's almost one of the major factors of why I am doing what I do for a living. is because, you know, your liver is probably one of the most, besides obviously your heart, because heart and brain, because you can't really do much without those. It's probably one of the most important organs in your body. I mean, the amount of things that it does for you is, the list can go on. But as I'm saying, I was proactive, got down and dirty, figured out what I need to do, started changing my lifestyle. And that's, why, every time I go to the doctor, blood levels, everything seems to be, maintained, no crazy numbers here and there. And, I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but like, because of my nutrition, lifestyle, whatever, I'm going to be honest with you, I'm the biggest, strongest I've ever been. But that's just because of my lifestyle. And that's what I'm trying to help people understand, that it is possible, that you can do it. And believe me, like, it's great when you are able to, just wake up and feel great and just have so much energy to basically do what I want every single day. And that's just help people. But also, like, it's not like it's like one of those things where, like, I have so much energy because of the excitement of just like greeting people and knowing like, hey, I'm making an impact in this person's life. But it's also just like, I have energy because of, the kind of food I eat, how I treat myself, how I, keep consistent with my sleep, keep consistent with my nutrition, my mindset, believing, being, optimistic, and all those things are, a lifestyle. It's not just one thing or two things in nutrition. It's a daily, consistent habits, behaviors that I put and I do. And I want to pass these along to people, and got to understand, you want to be around as long as you can for your kids. Okay. I lost my dad like 2-3 years ago. Every day I think about him, I'll be honest, like, it's hard, and I don't want to sound like, honestly, a dick, but like, his lifestyle wasn't the greatest, and, I thought that, what I did as a kid with this liver disease, that it would kind of brush off to him, but obviously it didn't. And his inconsistent, behavior, caused him his life. And I don't want it to see with other people. And I don't want other people to, fall into that space of, hey, I'm diabetic, or I have high blood pressure, I have this. And, sometimes it's 10 times harder to come back than just be proactive, prevent, and be mindful, and know that, hey, every day is not going to be your best day. Okay. You just got to figure out, okay, I got 30 minutes here. I got 45 minutes here. If I can't go to the gym, I'm going to go for a walk. If I can't go for a walk, I'm going to, figure out a way to get a workout. Maybe at home. Maybe I'll hit my trainer up. Hey, can you give me a home workout? You got to understand that if your trainer cares and coaches you on a daily basis, he's going to be there for you when you're in your hard time. Okay. That's one thing that, you got to also think about, like, what trainer is going to go above and beyond for you, even though you're not in the gym. Are they going to be there for you when, you're at home? Hey, I'm not feeling well. What should I do? Are they consistent with their message of, hey, I'm going to give you a workout. This is what you can do. Take 20 minutes. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. So I just wanted to, I know I said a lot today. I wanted to be kind of, I think this word is very powerful. And a lot of people, need to hear it and hear from, I'm not going to sit here and say that I'm the best person to hear from, because there's probably better people than me. But I want to let you know that, as a trainer, as a coach, the successful people that I see come to my gym are day in and day out, getting it, going after it. Yeah, they might not have one day might be crappy because, they didn't sleep well, whatever. But they have the conversation with me, I give them the input, and, things change. And the next day they come in, boom, they're better. They feel great. That's important to me as a trainer, as a coach, and help impacting each person that I cross in front of the lifestyle. And, the more I impact on their lifestyle, maybe the next person they touch. Okay. So I hope you guys enjoyed this podcast. Peace. Look forward to the next one.
Thanks for listening to Train to Perform with Julian Sisman. Learn how you can work with Julian in a personal training session, either online or in person, at prepareforperformance.com. And follow on social media for more tips on training, fitness, and sports performance. On Twitter at jsisman_PFP and Instagram at prepareforperformance.